Welcome to HDTV. You're now rocking with your boy. Yeah, so let's look at this. Jason Tatum on bad blood in Celtics locker room. The Boston Celtics boast a 15 and 17 record through 32 games and are presently ranked ninth in the Eastern Conference. I think they won their last two. This article is like a couple days old. Given that this team came into the year with championship level aspirations, clearly nobody within the organization is happy with how things have turned out. Team owner Weiss Grusbeck blames a former player for his squad's woes. General manager Danny Ainge has his own theories. Because of how bad Boston has been thus far, many have wondered whether the acrimony has spilled over into the locker room. Are the players turning on each other? This week we got an answer. According to Keith Smith of SB Nation, for now at least, the answer appears to be no. Jason Tatum said the team hasn't lost the faith in each other or in the organization, despite some scuttle to the contrary. He reported. Above all else, Tatum maintains that everyone on the roster is unified in their goal to turn this season around. Everyone in that locker room and organization cares, he said. We want to figure it out. It's not a chemistry thing. It's not that we don't enjoy being around each other and playing with each other. We do. We're all frustrated with ourselves and how we're playing as a team. We want to figure it out. That we care is a positive I'm taking away from right now. The Celtics still have plenty of time to right the ship. They could use Gordon Hayward's 28.5 million trade exception on any one of those great players. There are also one of three series suitors for JJ Redick and one of two legit contenders for Hassan Whiteside's services. If the players haven't turned on one another yet, everything can still be fixed, but moves need to be made. If they're not, things will ultimately get much worse before they get better. Now, here's another thing talking about the Celtics. Let's see if I can find it. Also, Celtics owner blames Kyrie Irving for his team's issues. Celtics owner blames Kyrie Irving for the team issues. The Boston Celtics are having a rough 2020-21 campaign. Given that many regarded Boston as a potential NBA Finals contender, the precipitous drop off has caught a lot of folks by surprise. During a recent interview with NBC Sports Boston, Celtics owner Weiss Grusbeck pointed to the departure of Kyrie Irving to the Brooklyn Nets as a big reason for his team's current woes. We had hoped Kyrie would stay forever and lead us all the way. That change touched off a lot of stuff. Weiss Grusbeck on Kyrie Irving's decision to leave Boston. We had hoped Kyrie would stay forever and lead us all the way, he said. He's on maybe the best team in the league right now, so that's that. That change touched off a lot of stuff because he left. We weren't maybe able to recruit free agents in the same way, and a bit of a domino effect, but it is what it is. We went for it with Kyrie. We had a good year with him. He tried hard and then he moved on. Grusbeck's point is certainly somewhat accurate. Clearly, the Celtics had invested in the idea that an Irving Gordon Hayward nucleus coupled with the promise of rapidly developing Jason Tatum would be enough to entice free agents. That plan fell apart when Irving dipped. Of course, what Irving's departure doesn't explain is why the Celtics have consistently dropped the ball on potential moves since then. Boston was very much in the running for James Harden, but ultimately opted not to pull the trigger on a deal for a very odd reason. Moreover, the Celtics have been linked to a big trade involving the New Orleans Pelicans, are one of three series suitors for JJ Redick, and one of two legit contenders for Hassan Whiteside's services. Yet, for whatever reason, general manager Danny Ainge simply refuses to do anything to improve the roster. There are rumors that Boston is plotting two big moves, but thus far nothing has materialized. And for all the brouhaha about how the organization planned to utilize Hayward's $28.5 million trade exception, despite having three great players to choose from, nothing has been done. As presently constructed, the Celtics cannot compete for a title. Heck, they may not even be able to make the playoffs. They can lick their wounds over Irving's departure all they want, but it won't change the reality that changes need to be made. The sooner they commit to that, the quicker they'll climb out of this increasingly deepened hole. Now, I think the Celtics have they won their last couple games and everything. Let me see. Let me look at these standings cuz I ain't been really watching ball. I've been trying to watch the NBA, but man, it's just been hard, man. I've been working and then I be tired. I be falling asleep on it because the NBA is boring now. Like it used to be fun to watch, but now it's only fun to watch certain teams now. Okay, Boston, yeah, they won two, so they're out of the ninth seed and they're up at the sixth seed. They're tied for the sixth seed with the Toronto Raptors. Them, Miami Heat, and Toronto Raptors have a three-way tie for 5, 6, and 7. Now, the problem with the Celtics to me is not only leadership and closing, but it's also been their coach. Brad Stevens to me, and this is just to me, and you guys can feel free to disagree. I don't care if you disagree or not. You know, I'm not I'm not a person who doesn't like when Shedrick came on. Shedrick came on. Shedrick likes LeBron. That don't mean I can't talk with him or we can have a conversation. I think he's a bum. Everybody else would be like, well, he put up 35,000. That's you guys. I think he's a bum. If you like him, that's cool. My little brother, he's a huge LeBron fan. He's a Kobe guy and he's a LeBron guy. Nothing against him. I don't like LeBron. He a bum to me. Now, let's get back to what we're talking about here. We're talking about the damn Celtics, aka the Leprechauns. Now, I've been hearing this crap all this time saying that Kyrie was the problem. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, which I don't think they should have, but they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Everybody talked about how bad Kyrie was and how the young players basically like Tatum and Brown were like, man, we don't need you. We don't need you, man. F out of here. They basically played like they didn't need him. You know, when he was trying to lead, they basically fought against it. So for the owner to come out and blame Kyrie to me is a cop out. How you gonna blame a guy who's not there no more? You know that's what I want to know. How you gonna blame a guy for not being there no more? Who don't want to be there? You guys basically made him feel like, oh well, you ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? Y'all basically made him feel like that. Y'all basically didn't want to listen to what he was trying to preach. He was the only guy on your roster who's won a championship, yet you guys still look down on him. You allowed the media to tear him apart. You allowed the older players like Paul Pierce, Kendrick, and all them to throw shade at him. You allowed the Boston media to basically crucify this guy when you guys lost. So it's like, why would I stay there if I'm not happy? My teammates don't like me. Me and the coach keep bumping heads because for some reason he can't seem to let the team know that I'm the guy. This is my team. And that's the problem I had with Brad Stevens. He doesn't know how to coach superstars. Because what I think is going on is Him and Tatum are bumping heads. And Tatum wants to take over more and do this, but he's trying to say, no, let's move the ball. Let's move the ball. This is the problem KD had with Golden State. It's not a problem with moving the ball. But when you have a superstar talent in Jason Tatum, sometimes those guys want to go and score and do their thing. That's why I said Phil Jackson is probably the greatest manager of talent in history. He probably is because he dealt with the egos of Jordan, of Pippen, all of these guys. Then with the Lakers for those 5 years early on, he dealt with the Kobe and the Shaq issue. So it is not easy to control talent. Boston's problem has been Marcus Smart isn't there. That's it. If Marcus Smart was there, they would not have lost some of those games. They wouldn't have lost that game to Luka. They would have beat Luka. They would have beat Luka. They would have beat him convincingly. You know, it wouldn't even have been close. So that's what I'm saying. We have to look at the whole totality of, what's going on. So we have to think about how things are being said or how things are being done. And a lot of people think that the Celtics were perfect. They're great without Kyrie. Yeah, they are as a team. They are better without Kyrie. I don't disagree. They are different. But Jason Tatum doesn't have that it. To me, it's like the OKC with KD and Westbrook. That's what we're seeing with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. Even though those two like to play with each other, but they like to play with each other more than KD and Westbrook did. But them two guys, it's like two stupid dogs. The guy who's supposed to be the alpha really isn't the alpha. He's playing more like the beta. If you understand what I'm saying. Like Westbrook is supposed to be the beta, but he plays like the alpha a lot of times when he was playing with KD, where we got Jaylen Brown and Tatum, where Brown is really playing like the alpha a lot of times, or Kemba Walker is, and then Tatum sometimes plays as a beta. Even though he's trying to be the alpha, he wants to be the alpha, but sometimes you just may not be that guy. Now, they could prove me wrong, go on a win streak, and then get to the third or fourth seed, and then we all will put this behind us. But for you as the owner to blame Kyrie Irving for something that isn't even on him, he's not on your team, and I wish we could get rid of all of this crap. People want everybody to be kumbaya. That's not how it works. Michael Jordan and Kobe teammates hated them. They hated them, but they respected them because they knew with them, and even though they were tyrants, they knew at the end of the day, if they needed that basket, they knew what was up. They knew what was up. They knew who was the best player. They knew, man. Hey, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. Them dudes is raw. I can't even hate. It's not about liking anybody. Look, if I played on teams where I didn't like people, but I knew we needed to win. I'm like, look, man, I'm gonna take on this block, even though it's football compared to basketball. I'm gonna take on this block. You make the tackle, vice versa. We used to do things, and me and this guy couldn't stand each other. I thought he was an a-hole and he was egotistical. He thought that I lacked athleticism and I wasn't great for the job. But we respected one another. I respected his athleticism. If I had that athleticism, oh man, I'd have had a 10-year career. And he respected my brain. which was to put guys in the position to make plays, to switch audibles, to be able to read the offense in a split second, switch things up, change the location, and be able to do all that while still making plays or taking on blocks. He respected that. So after that, we gained the respect. It's not about sometimes being friends. And the thing the Celtics has to do is this. If y'all want Tatum to be the guy, damn it, let Tatum be the guy. And Tatum, you got to step up when it's clutch. If you don't have it that night, let Kemba take over. Kemba could close as well. Let Jalen sometimes get a crack at it. You guys are able, you guys have probably the most talented team in the East as a team. Not saying they have the best players, that's in Brooklyn. But as a team, them and Milwaukee are probably the best teams in the East. And Philly, it ain't a team. Joel Embiid is just a beast, dog. I'm sorry, dog. Joel Embiid is that guy. He's that guy. I cannot lie. I cannot lie, man. Joel Embiid is that guy. He's that guy. He's that guy. He's out there trying to win. And the guy is tough, man. You can't take nothing from him. But this is the problem that I'm having with the Celtics. You guys are too good to be playing like you are. The Miami Heat, to me, the Miami Heat might mess around and go back because now that they got all their guys together, they balling. They in the fifth seed. They looking good. Toronto finally found themselves. They finally realized, oh, run the offense around Fred VanVleet. And I didn't have to watch. I just had to watch one game to see Toronto early in the season while they were effing up to now. They finally letting Fred VanVleet run the offense and move Lowry ass out. They should have got rid of Lowry last year. I'm sorry. I love Lowry, but they should have let him go. It was time. Now, the Celtics, they won two. That's good. Now, what are you going to do after the All-Star break? Because to me, that's when basketball is real. After the All-Star break, that's when you're going to see who got balls and who got the little no planners. And we already know who got no planners. He out there in LA and then the other one in Brooklyn. Choking and no planners Paul. You know, you heard me. Man, let me know, man, in the comment section, man. Do you blame Kyrie Irving for the Celtics playing trash this year? Or do you think it's on the players more than it is the coach? Or do you think that the coach and the GM are getting a pass? Or do you just think as a whole the Celtics they just gonna be who they are? They're just gonna be an okay to good team. No greatness. But to blame Kyrie Irving, that's tacky. Kyrie Irving's gone, even though he was a problem as well in the locker room. You guys didn't work it out. You guys didn't try to make it work. It's all on you guys. So Boston, it's up to you to put up or shut up because the Knicks are outplaying you, the Heat are outplaying you, the Nets outplaying you, the Raptors to me have outplayed you, and y'all better watch it. Washington, they trying to creep into that play-in game because if they get into that play-in game, it's all bets off. And Milwaukee and Philly are playing better than you, so hey, it is what it is. But to blame Kyrie Irving, man, is just straight cop out. That was a cop out move from the owner. Let me know in the comment section what you think. Thank you for listening, man, and we are out. Daisy.